Welcome to Lost Girl Therapy. Here is part 2 of how to learn how to sit with yourself. So in part 1, I talked about kind of beginning navigating emotional processing and learning how to be with you through yoga and with stress cleaning. And that's when I then found meditation. Now, I begrudgingly found meditation. I was not like an active participant where I was like, yeah, let's go and do this. I found meditation because I was learning how to do energy work. And when you do energetic practices, you literally have to sit with yourself. And I could not sit still. I truly would go to an energy session and feel so great, so open, so balanced. And then my homework would be sit with yourself. And I couldn't do it. It would be like do a grounding practice. And every day I would sit there and it was like a recorded meditation. And as the meditation was going on, I would have laundry lists of things coming through, and I could not sit with myself. So one of the things that I started doing was when I put the meditation on, I would keep a notebook next to me with a pen, and I would write down all of the random thoughts during the meditation as it was happening. So I wouldn't wait until the end. I would literally begin to get into the meditative state, and the moment that a thought came through, I would pause the meditation, write down the thought, go back. Now, this is a really tedious process, but I found that it was incredibly helpful in allowing my mind and body to recognize that I was listening to them. When you write stuff down, you're really cueing to your mind that you have it covered. You're basically making an agenda of your life or of your day, and the mind kind of slows down. It says, oh, she's got this. Oh, she's listening. She's paying attention. I noticed that when I did that practice, I needed to do it less and less as I did the meditation. I also began to notice that I was able to do it at the end of the meditation as opposed to during it. So each day I would sit down and I would do a grounding practice, which is earth energy up, my energy down. Everybody has a different version of a grounding practice. But when I would do that at the end of the meditation, I would know, okay, here's the 5 things that popped up in my mind. I trusted that I would remember them and I would write them down. I also began to notice that when I didn't need the notebook as much, that's when my emotions would come up. So in the initial stages of meditation, you might notice that you are getting flooded with information that is really irrelevant. It's essentially information that your mind is just hitting you with because we haven't been paying attention to all of the other signals that the mind has been sending. And once we start cueing into awareness, all of a sudden the mind is like, oh my God, thank God she's listening. Let me give her everything. So the evolution starts with, hey, did you answer that email? Did you check that text? Did you take your clothes to the tailor? Have you picked up your dry cleaning? All of that. And then it begins to move into, here's all of these kind of old memories that I just never processed. And this is where I want to quit. To be perfectly transparent, when old memories come up, when you get that kind of gut hit of oh my God, I really don't want to feel this, that is literally where I cannot sit still anymore. And the thing to remember that I found helpful during this time is that that is just a moment in time. Because we've taken the lid off of the pot, the mind is going to hit you with all of this stuff. It's going to hit you with all of these emotions and all of these memories. If you're able to move through that, if you're able to just note it and say, yep, there I was in 8th grade. Yep, that was that really embarrassing thing that still makes me cringe today. All you have to do is note it. And once, I like to say literally internally, I will go, yep, I've got it. Yep, I see it. Yep, I hear it. I am straight up cueing to myself that I understand what is coming up and I will eventually get to it. It just doesn't need to be right now. The more conversation you have between the mind, the body, and yourself, the more likely it is that those anxious thoughts, those kinds of floods of memories are going to decrease because you are constantly building trust with yourself in meditation that even if something comes up and you do not act on it right now, you will get to it. When you begin to be in that practice, you are going to notice that there is a final part to the meditative state. So go to part 3. I didn't realize I was doing a part 3, but this requires it. Go to part 3 and we'll talk about how you turn your mind on and off when it comes to meditation.